Hey everybody, happy Monday, hope you're well today. So it is Monday morning, it's 8 o'clock UK time, it's 9 o'clock Spanish time, and welcome. We're excited about this week, which is really cool. And we've got lots of work to do actually, and lots of implementation to do for people who are wanting to take their business onto that next level, and that's really awesome. But as part of that, and I was thinking about this last night, what am I going to do this morning's Facebook Live about? And I was going to do it about websites and about why your website probably sucks. And that's okay if it does, because if it does, we can do something about it. If your website is awesome and it's not converting, well, that's a different matter. But if it sucks, and you know it sucks, then it's quite an easy fix just to sort that out. But this is the first problem that we see quite a lot. So problem number one that we see quite a lot is traffic. So how many visitors have you had on your website in the last 7 days? Like, most people have no idea. No idea at all. This is one reason why your website sucks. No idea. The next part of that, so let's just say that you've got 100 people hitting your website in the last week, okay? And we choose 100, by the way, just because I can do the maths. No other reason. It's just an easy number to do the maths with. So that's number one is traffic. Number two then is conversion. So out of the 100 that turn up, what would you like them to do? Do you want them to subscribe to something? Do you want them to buy? Bear in mind that, 90% of people are just going to jump off your website in the first 7 seconds. What do you want them to do? Now, my advice would be to go for some sort of conversion mechanism. You've got to get some sort of conversion if you can. So on my website, we go and get an opt-in. Now, at the moment, that opt-in is just 3%. But it's cold traffic, it's warm traffic. Every 100 people go on my website, we're going to have 3% of people signing for my emails, okay? And then once we're in the emails, we can warm them up to some extent. They can get to know us. We send them videos and podcasts. We invite them into a Facebook group, and then people get to know who we are. They get to like what we do. And some people don't, and they unsubscribe and never deal with us again. That's great. As if you've seen these before, you probably already know. Or if you're listening to a podcast, then you probably already know. We don't mind qualifying people out because they're never going to work with us anyway, so we might as well qualify them out early. The question is, what do we do with the other 97%? And we're still working on that. But let's just tell you about what we're going to do with the other 97%. So number three then is for the non-conversion, we want to have a retargeting pixel. Retargeting pixel. So what that means is that every time someone lands on our website, we put a pixel on there that then follows them effectively around the internet. So you might then go onto Facebook, and then you can see a little advert for my website or for my podcast saying sign up now. So they then go back on the website, and 3% of those will then sign up, and then they get the retargeting pixel. So we're constantly following people around on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Auto Trader, wherever they happen to go, the Guardian website, all those websites that you see the adverts on. That's what you want to be doing. So the next problem that people have, or let's just put this as no retargeting pixel, low conversion, no idea how much traffic. So the fourth one then is sales flow. And this is really, I was going to say this is the most important aspect of why your website sucks, but actually it's not. It's like baking a cake. If you use one ingredient in your cake, it ruins the whole cake. Okay, so each ingredient has to work effectively. So your sales flow is, for most people on their website, they've just got a website and people land on it, and usually, I'll draw a website. A website looks like this basically. Okay. So you've basically got a box at the top and three or four boxes underneath it. Good morning, Abby. So then, if this is what your website looks like, most people, they drive traffic just to the homepage from Twitter, from LinkedIn, from Insta, from their emails, from their email signature, from the advertisement that's in the good morning, from the advertisement that's in the newspaper. They just send people back to the home page. Well, that's not going to work. What you want to be doing is you want to be sending people to a specific opt-in page. Let me redraw this diagram. You want to be sending people to a specific opt-in page that serves a purpose. So if you're a solicitor and you deal with divorce, family law, you deal with bankruptcy, you deal with property, for example, and you're just sending everybody to your homepage, that's not going to work. What you want to be doing is segmenting the people who look into property, let's say, and need someone to do their property conveyancing. What should happen is they go to a page with a video, ideally, and then an opt-in, and then some text as to why people should opt in, another opt-in box at the bottom. There's only one thing to do on this web page, and that's to opt in. Okay, our 3% conversion rate is on the home page, which is a poor place to opt in. Our conversion rate on our squeeze page is it's about 18%, and that can vary depending on the type of traffic that we're sending to it, what adverts we've got out, what it says in the advert, what the title of the advert is, what the image of the advert is, and so on and so forth. But look at the difference. We then put a retargeting pixel on it as well, so then we can follow people around and say, come and opt in. But if you're a solicitor and you do all these different things and you're looking for people who are doing property conveyancing, you've got to send them to a property conveyancing landing page. But then that's not the end of it, you see. So what happens then? What are the steps? This is all about sales flow. What's the sales flow? What would you like this person to do next? So maybe they opt in, they go to a thank you page. Maybe you want to give a one-time offer and say, come and get a free 45-minute phone call, and then they opt in for that as well. So not only have they got your free download or your freebie, they've now got a 45-minute phone call or a 15-minute phone call. Or maybe your thank you page is you can sell them something for £15, and it's a one-time offer. It's normally 47 quid, but if you buy it now, one-time offer, you're going to get 15 quid. And actually, that could be the next page. Because this is the thing, is that some people will buy anyway. I don't know if you can see that on the bottom. It's about to drop off the image, isn't it? Anyway, it's fine. So this is your one-time offer for £15. So some people will buy that. Then your next page could be buy this thing for £147, and some people will buy that. But most people don't even have any of this. You've got no chance. They don't even have a landing page specifically for property conveyancing. So this is what we're doing this week, and we've just come off the strategy and implementation intensive, working on somebody's sales flow, working out where the traffic's going to come from, working out how we can improve the conversion rates. And we've got no conversion rate at the moment because the thing doesn't exist. They just have a boring, bog standard website that does nothing. There's no retargeting pixel, there's no sales flow, or a sales funnel as we'll also call it, or a marketing funnel, whatever you want to call that. What's the flow supposed to be? Where do you want your visitors to go? So when you opt into my podcast, for example, with a 3% conversion rate on the homepage or an 18% conversion rate on the landing page, when you opt into that podcast, we then send a number of emails and we redirect you to podcasts and videos, and all that stuff is warming up the client and getting them to know who I am. And as I say, they're either going to love me, which is great, and they're going to hate me, and that's equally as great, because we can unqualified people that were never going to work with us, that we're never ever going to be able to help. My job in all of this is to diagnose where somebody is and work out what's the next step or what resource can help that person and put them in touch. And that works very, very well for us. So what does the sales flow look like? So let's just get rid of this. And I can just draw an example of a sales flow for you, so it's a bit clearer. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, you just have to imagine this in your head, or you can come and watch the replay in the Wealth Creation group. So what you've got then is you've got your home page, and then you've got your bog standard 3 pages website. There we go. But also in here, let's say it's this one. Let's just draw this a bit bigger so we can do it. So what you want here is just your landing page, video, headline, opt-in boxes, more text, bullet points, more text, and an opt-in page, an opt-in box somewhere there. Okay, so that's number 1. That's your landing page. Number 2 is your thank you page. And your thank you page could have something like, thanks for opting into the podcast. Why not book a strategy session with me? Okay, and some will do that, and it's so you'll have two boxes. One says yes, and one says no. The one that says yes will take them to a strategy session page. That's where I diagnose on the phone. And one that says no, that you could take them to a thank you page, which is just a thank you page, or you could take them to something else. Maybe a one-time offer that's going to sell them something. Maybe, you know, a £47 product for £7. Let's do that as an arrow. £47 to £7. Now they can buy that. And if they do buy that, they go to another opt-in page, which is, you know, do you want to upgrade? So you've got an upsell offer. And if they say no again, that's fine. It's just a final thank you page. Awesome. That's it. That's exactly what your sales funnel should look like. And you'll have different sales funnels for different products. So if you've got one for, like we've got one for rent to rent, we've got one for property sourcing, we've got one for strategy and implementation sessions, we've got one for every product that we do because we want to follow them down a particular path. That's where we're going to get better conversion rates. Whoops. And at the point here, this bit, let's do it in red actually. At this point here, this is what your conversion mechanism should look like. This is where you can track, you know, well, we're getting 8% here, can we get back to 20%? What, maybe we change the headline, maybe we change the video, maybe we change the call to action, and that's where we're continuously working. Now, for most people, of course, this is like rocket science. This is like I'm speaking Klingon or something, which I can't actually do, despite being a Trekkie. So, for most people, this is just really confusing, and it looks confusing. But this is what we do as a business. It forms part of what we do. So in my business, we've got three aspects: cut your costs, generate your cash, and invest the difference in income-producing assets. That's basically it. This comes under number 2. It's not cutting your costs, because this costs a little bit of money. Cutting your costs is just like, you know, getting your spreadsheet and going through it, making sure you've got budgets in place and you know where every single penny goes, and so you can forecast. Increasing your income, generating more cash, is about you growing your business to a point where you're making 3, 4, 5, 10,000 pounds a month. You know, if you're making 10 grand a month, for example, how many months will it take you to buy that 80 grand house? Well, 8, right? If you're paying cash, and we'd recommend that if you can pay cash with the new tax rules, then why not? Or you might buy 3 units and put, I don't know, what would it be, 25-ish, yeah, about 25 grand down on each one. So you'll have a mortgage, it's not quite as tax efficient and so on, but you'll get more income. So you can have 3 properties. So like, how can we get you to 10 grand a month? They're the sort of questions that we're asking. In my business, we're now at the stage of how do we get 100 grand a month? And then the next stage after that is how do you do £500,000 a month? And the level of thinking that gets, say, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 pounds every month is different than the level of thinking to get you 100 grand a month, or the level of thinking it's going to get you £500,000 or £1 million every single month. It's just completely different. So, so that's probably why your website sucks. All the reasons I mentioned before: no traffic, no conversion mechanism, or low conversion, no pixel, and no sales flow. All right, I hope that's useful for you. That will do us for this morning's Facebook Live, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. All right, take care.